Yo guys, next up on the calendar is Australia. So here is my updated car setup for Australia since patch 1.06. Thankfully, this setup felt pretty good out of the box. I really didn't need to tweak too much as my previous setup just worked pretty well just with lower tyre pressures. But jumping straight in, you'll see that I have lowered the front and rear aero. I've gone with 15 on the front and 19 on the rear compared to 17 and 24 in my original setup. Again, this just puts a little bit more emphasis on the front wing and it helps close in on the AI which still have ridiculous straight line speed. I've increased the on-throttle diff a touch up to 74% just because we can get away with a little bit more now since the traction is easier to find. Kept off-throttle at 50%. And the suspension geometry is pretty unchanged as well. It's minor tweak. I've kept the front camber at -2.6. I've moved the rear camber further right a little just to straighten the tyres up, give us a little bit more rear stability at -1.7, front toe of 0.06 and rear toe of 0.2. And then with the suspension, nothing crazy here because it felt pretty darn good. I've lowered the front suspension and front anti-roll bar a touch, putting them both down to 7. Kept the rear suspension at 1 and I've raised the rear anti-roll bar a touch up to 2 just to give a little bit more turning. And then I've increased the front ride height up to 5, left the rear ride height also at 5. Brake pressure 100% like normal, 50% bias, just like every other car setup I'm running. And then the tyres, these have seen a dramatic change. So we're down to 23.3 on the front right and 23.0 on the front left. The front left wears a little bit more, a bit more sort of emphasis on it around a lap. So I've lowered that a touch more just to bring the temperatures down. And then the rear pressures I've lowered to 21.3 on both right and left. This will help you control those tyre temperatures throughout a race, and I did test this in a full distance race and tyre temperatures were pretty much on point the whole way through. So this seems to have fixed the super high tyre temp issue that a lot of people are running into. But let me know in the comments below how you're finding this setup, this variation of my race setup since the new patch. Hit that like button if you found this video helpful and subscribe if you want to see more updated setups every single day. But for now guys, I will see you on track.